Hey everyone, it's Sabrina. Welcome back. I am going to do something a little bit different today. I've always wanted to do this type of video. I used to do planning type videos a long time ago, and I haven't done one since then. So I'm going to go ahead and be brave and share some journaling, how I put together my journal weeks. Kind of like Heba does. I love what Heba does with her journal. I'll leave a link in the description box, but she just put a new video up for her August journaling. So I am gonna be like Heba and channel my inner Heba and put together my weekly pages. So this journal that I have is my second one from JM Planning Essentials. I love Joanne's papers and her notebooks. I actually just finished up this notebook. Not every week is complete, but I had a lot of fun making this. I started it in November, and then it went all the way through this year of July. So I love this little book. I include photos sometimes not photos, and I just do different little, like this week. I didn't even do this week, but I had fun stamping and trying out a new way to use my stamps. So I have that book. And now I'm going to start this new one for August. So I'll skip this page and then start here with a monthly page. And you can't see it, it's off screen, but right down below me, I set up all my different pieces. And for the beginning of August, I pulled out some die cuts from Traci Reed's school kit from last year, and I'm going to use that for my August page. Also use whatever I don't use for this monthly page. I'll use it for the second week of August when we go back to school. So I have this for the opening page, and then I'm just going to go from there and fill out my weeks for August. The next week that I'm going to do is the first week of August, which is the one that we are in right now, and I'm going to use Ali Edwards. So this is the stuff that I pulled out. Since I do a lot of hybrid projects with Ali Edwards stuff, I wind up with extra things that I print, and I just can't bear to throw them away. So in my Ali Edwards stash, I have a whole box of stuff that I can use for journaling, or it'll just sit there. But right now I am going to use some, and I will throw on the pile to show you what I have. I printed out a sticker that says deep breaths. It is all just a lot right now. This is from the Stories by the Month kit, and I just printed it as a sticker. And then I found another sticker that says keep going. So I'm going to go with the pinks and oranges, and then I just found some other random bits and stuff that I can use for the August spread. And then I have some stuff for my daughter's birthday that I'm going to use for the third week in August. And the last week in August, I'll use a MandyFord kit. So that is my plan, you guys, and I'm excited that you guys are going to watch this video and watch me plan out my journal for August, and I really hope that you guys enjoy it. I'd love it if you'd let me know in the comments section if you want to keep seeing this type of video. All right, I'm going to switch to voiceover. Okay, starting off with the monthly page, I'm going to stamp August across going towards the left. And of course, I stamp out August backwards because I wanted to make sure I had enough room. I don't know why I was worried, because of course August is going to fit, but it wound up that the letters aren't straight. But you know what? I'm just going to keep moving forward. I got a bunch of these die cuts from Traci and then a pencil border, and so I'm going to use that to kind of frame in my line of embellishments, and I really love how that looks. And then I've got the die cuts of an alarm clock, some glue, some pencils, and then a flying little airplane. And then I'll get out an Everyday Explorer stamp set that has a bunch of school type of icons. I think it was actually from last year during the pandemic when everybody had to do distance learning and homeschooling. I'm not sure if it's available, but if it is, I will leave it in the description box below. I also had two little word strips that were black, and I liked how those were kind of adding to the black from August and made a good visual triangle. So I have school is cool, and then let's do this. And then the icons that I use from Everyday Explorers are like a paint brush, a notebook, a book, music, and then a piece of paper with a pencil. And then I also added in a math symbol, and you're doing great. Now I'll move on to the first week of August, where I'm going to use all my Ali Edwards supplies. I take the August Memories stamp, put a piece of washi over it, and then that way I only get the August, because that's the only part that I needed. I also remembered that I had a Days of the Week stamp set from Week in the Life, so I definitely wanted to use that, and I kind of placed the days where I think I'm going to have them. And I also borrow some kind of layout ideas from my previous journal. Why reinvent the wheel, right? So I'm going to have a little cluster up at the top left on this side of the page. I go to put down the deep breaths, and I didn't like how it was going to get lost in the dot grid paper, so I decided to put it on the white paper that I love. And then I'll also do the same thing for Keep Going as well, so that way they're both backed on white paper. So I'll have that cluster over on the left-hand side, and then I'll have another cluster down at the bottom right. And then I had a little piece of paper that I think is from the ampersand kit, and I just cut that in half, and I use one piece on the left and one piece on the right. The August Stories by the Month kit had the polka dot / half circles, so I stamped those there. To be honest, I'm not sure if I like them, and then I decided to outline them, and I thought that would be a good idea. Not so sure if that worked, but I had a lot of fun playing with my stamps and just kind of figuring out how I want to journal for this month. So I think that was more the point for me. So I added in highs and lows to that cluster to kind of finish it up. And then I'm going to go on to the days of the week. And then I will use a different stamp set that has a little bit of a bold number to it. And I will do that for the days. I smushed Friday, but I wasn't going to re-stamp it on white paper. So I'm going to leave it smushed. And you can see I just outlined the 2 half circles. Doesn't look too great, but oh well, moving forward. Stamped week 32. I believe it's week 32. I had to double check, but it's week 32, and that way I can know where I'm at for the week. And then when I go to journal for the days, I don't necessarily need a lot of room. I do a lot of bullet point journaling just so I can remember exactly what happened as far as like memory keeping purposes and for scrapbooking. Gonna add in a few little hearts, and one last thing I'm gonna add is loving. I plan on putting like the top 3 or 4 or 5 things from the week. I could have bullet pointed and added some more points to it, but I couldn't find just a circle dot from Ali Edwards in my stash, so I will go back and do that later. Decided to add in another little border of the half circles, and I just kind of did it randomly. I didn't really pay attention to spacing or if it was going to look okay. I just did it kind of willy-nilly, I guess, and then I decided to outline it, and that kind of helped balance out the outlining of the 2 big half circles. Okay, so moving on to the week when my kids start school, which, hallelujah, I am so excited they're going back to school. It's been a very long 17 months. So I am using the alphabet stamp from Everyday Explorers, August. I didn't stamp straight, but that is a-okay. I'm just going to keep going and stamping Monday through Sunday using an Everyday Explorer stamp set again. Also going to use Christine's stamp for the calendar days as well. And then in the bottom right, I'm using a ton of die cuts to kind of cluster down at the bottom. And then also using a star paper that I had, and I'll just use that to kind of tie both pages together. I've seen a lot of journalers do the strip of washi tape across both pages, but I didn't have any school themed washi tape, and I figured, you know what, a piece of paper works just as well. And then in the bottom right, like I said, I have the cluster, and I found a backpack and a little composition book and then a stack of books. And then I'll put down a phrase that says school days. And then over on the actual day, I found a little label that says date. And I'll also add in a black word strip that says finally back, and then a little pencil sharpener. So a fun little cluster right there. And then I'll do the same thing over on the right hand side, but just with a label, because that is our first soccer game for my son, and we are all very, very excited to see my son get back to playing soccer. And then Wednesday, I just stamped so much to do, because obviously we got to make sure everything is prepped and ready to go. Also added in, this week was barely survived, and I got this. And then I'll add in you're doing great again, and then also the week number, I remembered number 33. And then I will move on to the next spread, which is going to be the one for my daughter. I just got a Feed Your Craft stamp set that's like all these messy scribbles and patterns. I've wanted it for so long, and I just kept forgetting to just get it. So I finally got it, and I had to play with this, and I went with the reds and the oranges, all the fiery colors, which actually works perfect to kind of describe my daughter. She's definitely a Leo if we go by these stickers. Also decided to try out making my own days of the week, and I used a Citrus Twist alphabet stamp set, and I am going to just do a few letters of the day and then stamp that. And then at the bottom, I just put some washi tape and a little cluster of the messy stamping, and then one of the stickers that says Heart of a Lion, and then a little crown. Her birthday's on the 18th, so I stamped that with different ink color. I also put a little few washi strips up at the top left, and the reason I kind of went with Citrus Twist is because they had a collection with a stamp set. I think it was Wild Thing maybe, but it was last summer, and it just had a lot of phrases that described her, like truly loved and pure magic and all heart and beautiful you, and then such spirit. So I just had to add those all in. And then over on the right, I have the lion, and then the Leo queen, a sun, and so just lots of fun little things to kind of describe my daughter, because this actually describes her very well. And then I have some hearts that I found from my Happy Planner stash, and then I kind of defined the corner on the right with a piece of washi tape. And then that one's done. That one was really quick to put together. Moving on to the second to last one, as you can see, I have everything set up. This is somewhat similar to the Ali Edwards one, except I'm only doing 3 days on the left-hand side. And once again, using Everyday Explorer stamp sets for the days of the week and also the month. And then I am going to do some more clusters, and this time a cluster up at the top, and then on the left top, and then the bottom right. So kind of this very similar thing to Ali Edwards. It just makes it easy to get things done and move forward with the journaling. I had a piece of paper that was kind of the rainbows of the entire kit from Mandy Ford, and I used that to tie both sections together, and then also more of a neutral piece of paper. I took some of the clear stickers that I made the best, loved, and explored, and I backed those on some white paper as well, and then added in some cameras and some flowers. This is Mandy Ford's latest collection. I'll have another video with 2 other projects using this collection, so that'll be a total of 3 projects with 1 kit, which you guys know I love sharing how to use digital kits in a multitude of ways. So that video will be coming later this week. So this kit, I am going to leave a link for it. Can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but I absolutely love it, and all the cameras are just fantastic, and also the florals and just the overall color scheme. I stamped the days in a soft pink color, and that will kind of wrap up the spread, and then I'll just cut off the excess flowers that are hanging over the edge, and I'll be finished with this spread. All right, so the last spread. I'm so excited for this one. This one turned out way different than I thought it was going to. I only had 2 days to stamp, so I went with a big Monday and a big Tuesday, and then I'll stamp with a bigger number as well. When I was kind of planning this layout, I looked at one of my journaling spreads and I had extra room on the right hand side, just like this page, and I did a currently. So I decided to do the same thing with here to kind of wrap up August, and I just used different prompt sets to put together my prompts to fill out. So a few of my favorite things: watching, listening to, explored this place, this made me smile. And since I write so small, or I tend to, I'll definitely be able to fill in all of these and hopefully have enough space. Also, I'm going to use the greenery stamp set. I cannot resist using that stamp set whenever I get a chance. So this is where you will see that my spread, I started out with pinks and purples. And I'm going to very quickly switch to greens and blues, more of an ocean type of theme. And I did stamp up at the top left. You saw that I stamped the month rating. So I really liked that idea of rating the month. And here you can see I've switched out all the pink and the purple for all the blues and all the greens. And these flowers are from a digital stamp set from Kelly Stamps. I had a whole lot of these left over from the This Is Me project. So I have them in a little box, and now I can use them whenever I want to. And I'm just building several clusters, one on the bottom left, and then one in the corner for the top right, and then one in the middle, like I usually do. And then I'm stamping lots of greenery. And that way there's room on the right so I could put a photo, maybe a horizontal, maybe a vertical. And I'm using the cobalt and the green inks, and the reason I tell you that is because I go to use a lighter blue ink, and I guess the stamp set wasn't very clean, and it winds up giving me kind of an ombre look when I stamped, and I actually really loved it. So I really love how this spread turned out to look like an ocean spread, and yeah, perfect to end the summer spreads. And I just love these flowers from Kelly Stamps, and so I'm just putting them all together. And I put that cluster together and then realized that I still have to put in the Daze, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp the 3 and then move over the flowers, or move them out of the way, stamp the 30, and then I can put the blue flower back, and then the outline green one, and then the 31 as well. And this one is almost done. So I love it. It's beautiful, and I am so happy you guys decided to join me on making these journaling spreads. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'd love a thumbs up or a subscribe. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.